So I'm super excited. Back when I got this book called Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love. And quite frankly, the reason I bought it was because of the title. Something in me recognized that my abusive ex didn't talk to me like he was someone he loved. He talked to me like he was, I was, I'm not even sure he talked to me like I was someone he liked. I would just sit there like, why are you dating me? You think I'm so terrible. I was so confused by this. But anyway, one of the things that comes along with, but they used to produce cards for it. And I was super, I had it in my wish list for a really long time on Amazon. But I didn't buy them because the out of print cards, they're listed for like $800, $900. And listen, I'm excited, but I'm not that excited. Like, no, we're not doing that. But, so I guess somebody finished with the deck and posted it, and I was able to grab it. And it's like back out of stock again. I feel like the luckiest person. So for example, I really love this one so much. There's something really important I need to say to you, and I would like you to truly listen and not react, at least for 5 minutes anyway. I wish that would have been something that I could have said to certain people. Just listen. Don't react. Don't, let's not get all up in the defensiveness or like you're like, no, you're wrong. You gotta change your mind. Like, just take a pause. I will say the tricky part about this is, though, these cards are for people in healthy adjacent relationships. If you are in an abusive relationship, your abusive partner will use stuff like this against you. So they will be telling you stuff that's not okay. And they'll be like, no, but you got to sit there for 5 minutes. Don't have a response. So that's one reason. Like my ex, I was so confused because he clearly had abusive controlling tendencies. But I was like, but he seems like he's got good relationship skills. And what I didn't realize was those relationship skills were like another tool of control. Anyway, so these are not for an abusive relationship. These are not going to work with those people. You cannot use healthy, regular relationship, communication, whatever tools and techniques with abusive partner. They're only going to like twist it. And then you're going to be disempowered in so many more ways. Anyway, though, the back of the card says, the essence of these cards isn't about giving people the lines. It's about optimizing the chance that your lines will be received on the other end. This particular card can make that happen quite directly. But like I said, if you're in an abusive relationship, that's not how this will be used. Okay. Here is the Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love card. This ostensibly simple request can infuse the most mean-spirited interactions with new levels of respect and self-respect. It radically ignores the content of whatever is bothering your partner and quickly gets to the heart of the matter. In this relationship, how are we going to treat each other? I will say, I did try this phrase several times in that abusive relationship. And it didn't work. So when they're like, even the most mean-spirited interactions, still not an abusive relationship, because it's not going to work. But I imagine with a more normal person that it might. Talk to me like I'm someone you love. Fuck, talk to me like I'm someone you like. Like, again, why be with a person if you don't like and respect them? Okay. Here we go. You don't have to agree with me. But it hurts me when you don't take me seriously. I will say, I definitely had times where I was even trying to get him to think that I was right. I was just trying to get him to like, do you at least understand what I'm saying? Do you understand my perspective? Can you, even if you don't agree with me, can you understand where I'm coming from? And I'm not even sure, because he was so defensive and blame oriented and shaming me and like all this stuff that he never answered that question. So I don't know if this is something that would have worked, maybe, but again, don't use it with people that are like, don't use it with them. But in like a regular, see, I'm finding this very helpful, because as I'm going through it, I'm like, ooh, that's good. I don't think that would have worked with my problematic relationships. So I'd like to be in a relationship where, you can say stuff like this and the person stops, and it's not about them being right. It's about establishing the connection. Ooh, busted. I am your friend. It's painful seeing how quickly I can become your enemy. Now, actually, this one kind of reminds me of a former friend I had. Like, shit, she like switched on me like so fast. I should have seen it coming, and I didn't. I'm working on being more careful about who I'm bringing into my inner circle. I have a lot of amazing people in my inner circle. So luckily, I'm not coming from a place of like, I'm surrounded by toxic people. Nah, for the most part, most of my people are amazing and not toxic. And so it really was truly glaring to see the difference between the healthy, awesome people and the toxic people. And quite frankly, the toxic people will shift on you so fast. But I do know this can occur in relationships. Sometimes we start treating like the other person as the enemy. If we're to that point where we truly think they are, it's time to let go. Okay. All I want for you is to listen to me with an open heart. I did ask for this. Oh, this deck is like, it's driving some things home. It's frightening to me that we see things so differently. I will say, one thing that I'm really recognizing is that, most people will say, oh, you need to have good communication to have a good relationship. Presupposing even that, you have to have you have to have overlapping senses of reality. Your Venn diagrams have to overlap substantially. Because, otherwise you're going to be arguing all the time. So you don't even have to get into like I know I got to the point where I was like, at this point, it's not even about who's right and wrong. Like, we clearly are not even interpreting reality remotely the same way. Like, there's just no possible way for communication to occur. Right now, I don't need a lecture. I need your love. I think we do this to kids a lot too. That's something that I'm trying to not slip into. It's hard admitting I might be wrong. It is hard. And like I said in my last video, it doesn't necessarily have to happen in the conversation. Like, someone can just bring up a thing and be like, hey, I'd like you to consider this, and then fucking drop it. And let the other person like marinate. And the other person maybe doesn't need to sit there and go, no, this is wrong for XYZ reasons. Like, okay, I'll consider it. And then it's not, one person's felt heard, the other person's like, I'll think about it, and it's not a controlling dynamic. No, this is a sad card. Oh, I'm so surprised. It says, do you hate me? This card is a jewel. I truly believe that if everyone were in touch with this ever-present question percolating inside them, there would be no more wars. Oh, so optimistic for self-awareness. Nancy Dreyfus, Side. Your undefended candor will disarm your partner and be a responsible acknowledgement that you did something that might in fact upset someone. Oh, I guess it's coming from the perspective of, do you hate me for a thing that I've done? Okay, that's not how I interpreted that card when I first read it. Okay, here's one for people who get defensive right quick. I've been so focused on being heard, I didn't see how much sense you were really making. Again, I don't understand why, I understand how it happens, but like, we don't always necessarily got to get into a conversation when someone brings up a thing they want to address with their partner. You just say, hey, I'm noticing this thing. Can you please consider it? And then, like, everybody step back. It doesn't have to be real time, like a thing real time necessarily. Like, that is an option. That is something that we can do. I think I'm supposed to know how to do this, but honestly, I have no idea. Ooh, this one takes responsibility. My ex said something to this effect after he had cheated on me and tried to be with another woman. You have no idea how much I regret the direction I took this in. I'm really sorry. Actually, I don't know that he said he was sorry. I think he just said he made everything worse. I'm so sorry I couldn't hear you sooner. I can see that I've missed the point. Please give me another chance. Oh, wow. Please, can you forgive me? I don't feel heard. Oh, I love this next one so much. I would love it if we could just be quiet and hold each other. When you go on and on like that, I feel invisible to you. Oh. Oh, Nancy Dreyfus, Sidey, this one's not going to go over well. You're being a bully. That's how you start an argument that will never fucking end. And it'll go on till the middle of the night, and you'll be so exhausted, and it'll be like, please let me go to sleep. And like, it just, no. I don't recommend that card. That's, oh, this was a good one. I was making a big deal out of something that just isn't that important. I want to let it go. X and my fucking towels, my hand towels. Let's take a quick pause. I like these hand towels because I used to work in a restaurant, and they're just like real easy to grab like hot things, and you can just like wipe the grease off your hands really quickly, move on to the next thing. You can even use them. I've used them as cutting boards, like legit. I freaking love these things. So one of the first things he ever did was we were in my kitchen, and he like this really ugly tone was like, I forget how he said it, or what, not how he said it, but I forget what he said, but something like, like, why do you have these? These are horrible, or so, no, I'm not even doing it justice. But anyway, his perspective was that it's not absorbent like these kind of towels, and these were wrong towels for me to have, that I shouldn't have these. Now, first of all, again, when you're dealing with somebody who has to be right all the time, like, he wouldn't fucking let it go. He was constantly telling me about how terrible my towels are. They're not absorbent. He doesn't like them. He would buy me new towels, right? And keep trying to push me to like tell him that I agree, these are bad towels. I don't fucking agree. I fucking love these towels. Their utility is superb. Anyway, so the best part is when I finally realized years later one day, I was like, that motherfucker doesn't even use hand towels to wipe his hands. He wipes his hands on his pants. And are his pants this fabric? No. His pants are more like this fabric. Why does he wipe his hands on his pants? Because he's trying to get grease off them or whatever. So, I think the closest he got to this card was that he said like, oh, I wish I hadn't been so ugly, which is the closest he got to recognizing that he was being like controlling and abusive right there. But would it be so nice had he said, I was making a big deal out of something that just isn't that important. I want to let it go. Why was he making a big deal? Because he thought he was right. And I'm wrong. And I need to admit that I'm right. or that he's right. Like, oh my God. I'm gonna stop here. Anyway, I'm gonna like go through my cards and I guess just ponder relationship things that have occurred and try seeing new options, new opportunities, connection first with people who either share my sense of reality or can perspective take enough to at least understand where I'm coming from. Like, that's my new, like, don't have to agree with me, but do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, do you understand my thought process? You know, or are you so stuck on like, you're right and I'm wrong and I need to admit I'm wrong? Like, we're not doing that anymore. That's not a healthy relationship habit to have. If you need to be right all the time, good luck. Because that's literally not relationships. Actually, to be fair, I don't think that it's that he needs to be right all the time. I feel like he needs someone to be wrong all the time. Like, he needs to feel right by someone else admitting they're wrong. I said in a past video that, like, I work with attorneys. Attorneys don't even talk to their partners that way. Like, admit you're wrong. I think one time I said something to the effect of, you know, language matters. Like, why don't we switch to acknowledge? Like, can you acknowledge where I'm coming from? You know, is this something that you can consider? No, admit you're wrong. He was telling me exactly what was important to him. And because I was coming from a different perspective, I wasn't hearing it. But now what is the shift? The shift is just to switch from these bad relationship patterns and responses to like helpful and healthy ones. So, making that journey. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day and I'll talk to you next time.